Yep. Shit, what about fucking Romero taking his toes dipping in the pool with Martin, dude? Fucking Martin.
In between two of the greatest zombie films of all time.
He made Night of the Living Dead.
No, he made Dawn, and then he did Martin, and then he did Day, which was probably the most gory.
I'm saying he started with Night.
Right, and
then went right to...
became the king of the zombies, and then did one of the best vampire films
fucking
ever,
Martin, dude. Come on, 1977.
Yeah, what did the uncle, or what was it, his 8,000-year-old little cousin?
Yeah, so
he believed he was a vampire.
He had no normal identifying vampire traits. Like, no, he didn't have the teeth. He didn't have the powers.
He thought
just the thirst of blood. That's all he had. And his grandpa that kept telling him that he was a vampire.
Right.
But the memories, remember the memories he had?
Okay, he had
now
these urges, you know what I mean? He's a fucking crazy
but
movie.
that kind of
the concept was
great
crazy.
Movie. Yeah.
And now
so smart.
Hey, that's what we were talking about earlier. Is like you got this traditional shit with Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee and Bram Stoker's and all this stuff. And then now we're starting, because it's so embedded in society and the world. Yeah. Right? Now you're getting a film where they're like, all right, well, fucking, let's make something up.
What can we do?
Let's keep with what it is.
Yeah.
And then let's go this way.
Yeah.
And see what we can do with it. And that's called Martin, people.
Yeah.
Fucking
and
watch it.
Even championing or going off the back of Martin, they did the same thing when 30 Days a Night came out.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that was
right.
Even though that was based off of a comic, one of the dopest ideas for...
Jesus Lord. Yeah,
because when you oversaturate a market like how they did with zombies, like the whole point when I watched,
up with good shit.
But when I still to this day, there's some good, mostly bad, but it's about what's the newest take on what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know, and with 30 Days a Night, nobody fucking did that. Vampires congregate and they go up to the north.
I don't know, guys. I think
30 straight days of darkness, dude, and they
hundreds of films of vampire films. I think that stands alone as far as one of the most unique concepts. Think about it. You go to Alaska, that we all know geographically holds at least a month of pure darkness where no one comes. How did anyone not fucking think of this shit? Like earlier.
I guarantee you it had to be somebody from Alaska.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they might have been shouting that shit from the heavens. But.
Oh, man, what the hell is his name?
The writer of the comic?
Yeah, the writer of the comic. He's just a creative...
next.
Yeah, just
off to the left type of thinker.
Well, yeah. I'll never forget when you showed me that comic, I was like, oh, this is sick.
Bro, that artist
art was so dope. It was very scary. They looked
David
fucking
Slade,
nuts.
the director,
like,
he fucking really
he did.
Yeah.
No, Josh Hartnett, one of those movies, like Josh Hartnett always just picks random movies, and this one he fucking crushed.
He picked the sensational one.
And
Ben Foster too.
Ben
Foster.
Ben Foster,
younger Ben
He's
Foster.
just eating raw meat. He's the most wannabe vampire ever.
That's got two of my favorite.
The fucking villain guy.
Oh, he's great. Dude. Yeah, all of the vampires were great, but my two almost not my favorite actors, but two actors I really like. Ben Foster is like one of my favorite characters.
Ben Foster, yeah.
But the woman that plays
oh my God, what was her fucking name?
Is Melissa George, and she's in like Touristas and like
all
these horror movies.
Girlfriend, the
Bro,
sheriff.
Yeah, she is a fucking rad horror actress.
And how they made them look with super black eyes.
Teeth,
they were like blue pale.
Yeah.
Super black eyes, and their fucking teeth were prominent, where you're just like, oh, and they were fast. And they flew, and you couldn't get fucking away from them at all.
But they were extremely violent. They didn't bite you. They pretty much ripped your neck out. They ripped your neck out.
Anywhere.
They just drank you
the
like
comic,
a soda.
The art for the comic was
it
man.
was so dope. It wasn't black and white, was it?
Yeah.
And the blood was red.
Okay, so there's some color stuff, but yeah.
No, that blood looked real.
Oh,
no. In the comic, I think it was all. Was it mostly black and white, and then the blood parts would just be red?
There was it was colored, but there was a lot of black and white that Temple Smith would do.
It was like looking at a black and gray tattoo. You know?
What was cool was David Slade didn't choose to do like crazy CGI effects where the mouths would open like the comic. He just stuck to
like some straight Rick Baker, old school fucking.
That was
just
cool.
Put in jaw. What was that? You just put in teeth.
Yeah.
And it was hard
like
for them
shark
to talk.
teeth.
Because when he did have a few lines, one of the best lines of a fucking movie that was in the trailer. Remember?
Oh God.
He's all. We gotta pray to God. And he's all. What did he say?
No
there
God.
is no God.
There is no God.
Yeah. No. That's like giving me chicken
Oh,
skin right now.
man.
Because that was a moment in cinema where I was like,
What a line.
motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
we're talking about people that have lived possibly 100,000 years. And
And
they're
that's how
we've
they
lived
feed.
enough to see that there is no fucking... This
He's like, look
religion
at
is
us.
God damn! They just fucking went next level
Yeah.
with that shit. Yes, 30 Days a Night is a very important vampire film, I think.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
No
it came
doubt.
at a
I
time
think.
when we needed it. It came
Yeah.
at a time when they were just giving us so much crap.
It's
and-
you know
and
what they
horrible,
were.
horrible
you know what
movies.
David was is he was a fan like we are, and he's like, oh God, if I could just appease the gods
Yeah.
of horror directing and film, and it's exactly what he did.
Yeah,
And goddamn,
Before we get in,
out the park.
before we get into some of
to
the
that
classic '80s ones that we grew up in,
Right.
I want to give a nod to a couple of the dope sci-fi vampire trilogies, which was of course Blade.
Blade, you have to start with Blade.
Oh yeah.
I mean, say
Oh my
the
God,
third one
Blade.
probably wasn't the greatest, but the first two were.
Doesn't
man,
matter. Those are
sick.
super entertaining.
Great
and,
movies.
and the Underworld series.
yeah.
Oh,
With
fucking
Kate Beckinsale,
Underworld.
those were
I like-
fucking
yeah.
sick,
She
man.
crushed that
Yeah.
shit.
They brought in the Lycans
Yeah.
and fucking.
You know what?
It's good.
Oh,
It's
man.
not-
Can
Yeah.
but can I say like this? Like it's one of those things. Like it's almost like Lord of the Rings or the Marvel movies. Like if there's a Saturday and I'm not specifically
Underworld
watching
marathon.
something, and if it's on,
Yeah, Underworld
I'll marathon that
dude.
shit.
And it's always
And
on.
that's Underworld. Like I'll do the same thing. I'll be
Yeah.
like, oh well, we're in for it today.
Plus,
Yeah.
Tywin Lannister's in it, dude. And he's the
Oh.
fucking shit in that.
No, it's good.
Bill Nye's in it.
Yeah.
like-
well, it's good because it goes into werewolves and whatnot, and it
Yeah.
you know, like lichens.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Blade also being a comic, which is a
Blade-
pretty beloved comic in the Marvel
Yeah.
universe, right?
Yeah, he's one of the. I mean, they had the guy they're doing now with Jared Leto, but I don't really remember that one. But the Blade comic, I remember that. I remember reading that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the guy that Leto's playing, I don't really remember. Morbus, the living
Morbius.
vampire or something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really
Right.
remember. I remember seeing pictures of it, but I
that's
never
who
got
he
into
is.
that
That's
comic.
right.
He's Morbus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
they're
DC,
making it. Yeah, I've seen a preview for it. I mean, it looks okay, but it doesn't look like a Marvel movie. That's for sure. It looks way different than a Marvel movie.
Looks fucking crazy though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, those are pretty much. I don't want to get deep into television because, we'll give props. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I never watched it.
No, the
but
movie.
It was well loved. It was really well loved.
Yeah, I was kind of. I will say that I was kind of a fan of the movie. Was funny, with
Right.
Paul Rubens
Well,
as the
You know
Pee-wee.
what that plays on, guys? It plays on to like how I was saying, like you had Donald Duck and shit, like with
Yeah.
Dracula. Like it plays onto the heartstrings. Like this vampire genre became so important to not the world.
Yeah.
That like everyone was like, well, how can we infuse it in? Like, let's go psychological now. Like, how crazy is this? Is a fucked up storyline
Yeah.
of a human being that can span the of time, never die, but has to survive by literally killing people and drinking their blood.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy, and we made it into a Disney character, and also like pulled it in and made it Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean,
Clueless
she's killing the bad
with-
guys.
yeah.
Well,
but
she's technically supposed to be like the female,
She's a good
younger
guy.
version of Van Helsing.
of Van
Yeah,
Helsing.
right,
She's
yeah.
a good guy, but
Directed
still,
in modern
it
times.
surrounds itself by that concept. Like, what it just shows is that, like, society,
Girl.
it's insane. Yeah.
That was just the time.
It was
That was the
Clueless
time.
with fangs.
Yeah.
You know?
It was at that.
Well,
at that time.
and then you wanted to talk about genres and series, and then we kind of get ourselves into that magical, glowing
With this fucking sparkles.
sparkle genre of
thanks.
vampires.
Right.
That they literally looked like a late 90s to 2000 video.
Yeah.
You know.
It was.
Which is fine. I never was super into it, but
haven't seen a whole one, to be honest with you. I mean,
Well,
when
I'll say I saw the first two.
oh shit, I'm sorry.
Sorry for your loss.
No, but
Hey, they tried to stick true
Yeah.
to vampire tradition, but they really, it's basically if what is the sitcom? What is the one with what's her name, Reese Witherspoon?
Reese
No,
Witherspoon.
not Reese.
Are you talking about True Blood?
No. I'm talking about 80s, 90s. Freaking what's her name? Pop high school shit.
Oh,
It's
man.
if that
Saved by
happened
the
to
Bell?
vampires. That's exactly
Sabrina. Okay, so
Sabrina the
but
Witch.
But anyway, that's what Twilight is. That's
Yeah.
what basically.
another like it was destined to happen. You know, like somebody was gonna
again Donald
right.
or Daffy Duck.
It's just
had
a goth
fucking vampire cape.
and it was a goth that wrote a book, and
Yeah,
that's
pretty
what
much
came
exactly
out of
what
it.
it
But,
was.
and werewolves.
but what was cool was at that same time that was out, Let the Right One In came
Oh
out.
my lord!
Number 2 on the list.
Might-
Number 1 or number 2,
Might-
depending on
yeah,
where you go.
In the Gory Boys list, people listening, that is really high for us.
Man.
that is one
Extremely
of
high.
those films.
And what is
Oh
that?
my god!
Swedish?
Let's
Yeah.
paint the
Swedish?
picture,
Swedish.
guys. We need to give room for this one.